It's time now for Mountain Mornings on WJUL and WJRB.
Is there anyone out there willing to talk about
what matters?
And now, here's Patrick Malone and Harry Bond.
Good morning, North Georgia and Western North Carolina, and welcome to the Friday edition of Mountain Mornings on WJUL and WJRB, where we are brought to you on Fridays courtesy of Hillcrest Imaging, located in their new location on Pat Harrelson Drive in Blairsville, where they're famous for their imaging. Whether your doctor says you need a CT scan, an ultrasound, an MRI, or the old standard x-ray, they do it all. They do it at less than half the cost of other options. So 706-745-8790. So Patrick and I are continuing this morning with the WJUL, WJRB North Georgia Candidate Forum, in which we're letting the candidates for the offices in North Georgia here express to you their opinions on 4 questions that we have for them, so that you can be better informed about the candidates and who you're going to vote for. And this morning, we have with us Mr. Dick Mills and Mr. Stan Gunter. Both are candidates. Stan Gunter is the incumbent as your state representative in Georgia. And we're going to be asking each of them the same 4 questions, and they'll have a minute to give their answer to that question. These are specific to the job as state representative. And we'll start alphabetically, which means Gunter is first. So the first question is, abortion continues to be a hot topic in Georgia. Do you agree with the current Georgia law? And if so, why?
I do agree with the current Georgia law. And the reason for that is I believe that life begins at conception. And so I think that that abortion statute does a good job, and I'm disappointed that the courts are not following with that and have not overturned, but they have put an injunction on the one in, I think it was in Florida, that was very similar to what we had in Georgia.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Mr. Mills, same question. Abortion is a hot topic in Georgia. Do you agree with the current Georgia law, and if so, why?
Absolutely. I believe the same thing as Mr. Stan just said. Life does begin at inception. And, again, can't follow him up too much more than that because we both agree on the same.
Okay, sir. I appreciate that. Well, then we'll move to the second question, and we'll let you have it at first time, Mr. Mills. The state budget has exploded since the pandemic. And for the fiscal year in 2025, it's reaching $36 billion. What would you suggest to rein in spending and curtail the expansion of state government, sir?
I feel that we all need to roll in and hold each department accountable on their budgets. They need to present a little bit more than what they're probably at this moment presenting on our budgets. We need to also see and dig deeper into what each county is asking for as we're supplying money to them. And is it just wasteful spending, as we're hearing across our state and actually across the country? And we need to really look into not expanding on anything at this time until we get our budgets under control.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Same question to you, Mr. Gunter. What would you suggest to rein in spending and curtail?
Well, the success that the state has had in bringing business to Georgia is a reason that the revenues are increasing, but that's a cycle, and that's not going to last long. We're going to come around to a point, and we already know that the economy's starting to slow down, and so what we need to do to rein in spending is to be careful, looking at each department, what they're spending the money on. Main thing we need right now is salaries. we need to bring salaries, state salaries, up to what's in private enterprise, and we're losing people left and right. A lot of good experiences going out the door because of that. But that would be my answer.
All right, sir. Next question, and we'll stay with you, Mr. Gunner. School vouchers passed during this year's session. Do you agree or disagree with that legislation, and what else could be done to improve failing schools?
Well, definitely we need to be working on failing schools. I did vote for that bill. It affects only the bottom 25% of the schools out there. It does not affect any of the schools here in the 8th District. But we need to, for those parents in those school districts where they're in the bottom 25, they need to have a choice to go somewhere else to get their children a good education. And the 6,500 needs to follow the child and help them with the cost of making that change. It's something that they've been begging for a long time, and I think it's necessary that we help them with that.
Okay. Mr. Mills, same question. The school vouchers that passed during this year's session, do you agree or disagree with that legislation, or what else could be done to improve failing schools?
I disagree with that part. I feel that we have a problem in our school system. It's starts with our teachers, our principals, and our superintendents. We should be holding them, again, they should be held accountable for their positions. We should be holding them to a higher standard. There's testing that goes around that shows us that this is what's happening in our school systems. If they're not there, we should be looking at who are we going to replace. We're a business. You know, our state is operated as a business. Our schools are asking for millions and millions of dollars, and what are they spending it on? Again, we got to rein into what's happening, and then once you find out what is happening, well, then you can increase someone's salary at that point. Mm-hmm. But just all of a sudden, okay, well, we're going to give $6,500 just so this child can travel over to this next school is not something, in my opinion, is correct, because a lot of these children is traveling are sports athletes and other than that to try to play sports in another region that he's going to get further exposure. It's not all about the learning curve. I've watched this happen through other areas of the country. I know some people, it's in Florida, that's done the same thing. They move them from a really low-end school to a high-end school just so they can play sports and use a voucher. That's not correct. That's not what it's about.
All right. Thank you, sir. And staying with you, Mr. Mills, on the next question, a legal one here about tort reform. It's been suggested to reduce insurance premiums and curtail excessive damage and punitive judgments. Where do you stand on this issue, and why, sir?
That's sort of a difficult question for a gentleman that's not into that business. I'm going to be straightforward with you. So with me, I would have to repeal back to it to come to that answer and get back to the person, you know. So I don't want to say something that I'm not pertinent of actually knowing at this time.
I understand. Thank you, sir, for your answer. And Mr. Gunner, what are your thoughts on tort reform to reduce insurance premiums and excessive damage and punitive judgments? Where do you stand and why?
Well, tort reform is a complicated subject, and the reduction of insurance rates is never a guarantee, it doesn't seem like. I had one of those tort reform bills in front of my committee this year, and I asked the insurance guy that came up to speak about it, if we gave them everything they asked for, would it reduce rates? And he wouldn't answer the question. So I know the governor backed away from it because of how complex that issue is, but that's his goal, is to get insurance reduced for everybody out there, and that's not happening.
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, that was the 4 questions. Now, we're going to give
Harry,
yes.
Before you wrap it up, I got a question.
Okay.
How much time do we have before we go to the
You're
break?
less than a minute, sir, for a break.
All right. Let me hang on to the question, and we'll ask it after the break.
Okay. I may or may not allow you. I mean, just who do you think you are anyway, huh?
Help me out here, buddy.
Help you out. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
me.
appreciate your comments so far, and like I said, I have one more question before I want you guys can do your closing statement. So
okay, yeah. The computer is going to force us into a commercial break here for 2 minutes, and then we'll be back because, as we said, we want to give each of you individually a minute to make a closing statement of whatever you'd like to tell the people. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
Mountain Mornings on WJUL and WJRB continues after this quick break.
Hey folks, this is Dr. Andre Scheffler. Have you heard the news? Hillcrest Clinic and Imaging has moved. Come visit us at our new facility at 401 Pat Harrelson Drive. Not feeling well? Come see one of our providers at the walk-in clinic. Has your doctor ordered an MRI, CT, ultrasound, or X-ray? Visit our certified radiology center for excellent images at 1/3 the price of our competitors. You will receive the same high-quality care as before, this time with a flat, easy-to-access parking lot. Come on by. You'll be glad you did.
You've created a cool indoor retreat. Now let Carrier provide the quiet, efficient cooling you can depend on all summer. With a range of innovative cooling solutions that deliver premium comfort and energy savings. Carrier, turn to the experts.
They've done it again. McKinney Heating and Air is a 2023 Carrier Presidential Award winner. Call 706-896-1800. That's 706-896-1800 for McKinney Heating and Air.
Constantly challenging ourselves as a college means more learning opportunities, better teaching, more innovative programs, greener facilities, a stronger community, and happier students. Every choice we've made reinforces our mission to help educate, inspire, and empower you. Young Harris College. This is the place where your future unfolds.
Don't wait around for the ice cream truck. Blazin' Scoops in Hiwassee is scooping and hand-dipping all the flavors of delicious Hershey's ice cream. Whether it's a waffle cone, cake cone, hot fudge sundae, banana split, or one of our delicious hot food items, Blazin' Scoops has something to satisfy your sweet tooth and cool you down this summer. Ask us about our event space, available for birthdays and special events. Blazin' Scoops is locally owned and operated in Hiwassee between AT&T and Van Keith Insurance. Blazin' Scoops, Hiwassee's downtown ice cream shop.
Improving our patients' dental health one smile at a time. Dr. Jared Houston, Dr. Courtney Marshall, and Dr. Tom Mims and the staff at Valley River Dental live by that principle every day. Get expert care within a broad range of services, from preventive dentistry and periodontal treatments to dental implants and orthodontics. Or maybe it's just about perfecting a beautiful smile. So, if you're looking for a new dentist, consider Valley River Dental Dentistry in Murphy on Bill Hughes Avenue in Murphy. Kitchen remodelers. What are those 3 wonderful words again?
Granite, quartz, and marble.
Exactly. See them all in one Young Harris showroom. Introducing Masterpiece Granite, right here in the Enchanted Valley. Stop by and make your selection from the best names in the industry.
New countertops arrive within a week. Go to MasterpieceGraniteLLC.com to see the samples for yourself.
Or Masterpiece Granite LLC on social media. 441 Plottown Road in Young Harris. 678-677-4974.
When you need quick and accredited imaging like an MRI, X-ray, or CAT scan, the next call is to Hillcrest Imaging in Blairsville. Walk-ins are welcome, or make an appointment when you call 706-745-8790. And oh yeah, it's less than half the cost of other local options.
Welcome back to the second half of Mountain Mornings on WJUL and WJRB, where we are continuing our North Georgia Candidate Forum. If you just joined us this morning, we are talking to Mr. Dick Mills and Mr. Stan Gunner, both candidates for state representative from North Georgia. Of course, Stan Gunner is currently the representative and incumbent running for re-election, and we've been asking them both the same questions to get their feedback. Now, I understand that Pat Malone is wanting to break in here with an unscheduled question. Is that right?
That is correct. And my question is real broad. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing the Georgia General Assembly? And I guess the response first from Representative Gunter.
The biggest challenge for the next legislature?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you for our caucus is to maintain our caucus. That's the biggest challenge we have right now. But if you're talking about issues, I would say if we're going to have a slowdown in the economy, that's going to have a huge impact for our state for the next several years if the revenues slow down. So those are two of the areas. Tort reform, again, is going to be another huge battle. It always has been down at the Capitol. That'll be another fight. So those are some of the areas that I would say is going to be a challenge.
All right. Thank you, sir. Well, Mr. Mills, if you go down to the Gold Dome, what do you think are the biggest challenges coming up?
Well, it's all going to boil back down to the budgets that's got to be handled. And again, as we see as a farmer that I am, I'm seeing a slowdown coming as it is in certain aspects of our business. Excuse me. And that's just going to be just a consistent roll onto all other areas of the country because agriculture slows down, cotton slows down, seeds slow down, everything slows down. It's going to affect just not our state. It's going to affect every state. It's just so we're going to have to really, again, roll in our numbers to operate tightly. You know, can't just continue printing money. We have to stop and think as a legislature or as a state that we have to roll in the dollars and not just continue spending. We want to help everybody, but let's help ourselves first.
All right. Thank you, sir. Well, at this point, as you know, we're going to give each of you 1 minute just as a wrap-up here, closing statement of why people should vote for you. So why don't we stick with you, Dick Mills?
Well, I'm for the people. I'm for everybody that's sitting in this room. Just feel that we just need common sense back into our state, at our state levels and our local levels. We've had people ask me several questions. What are we going to do about certain issues? A lot of the issues that we're hearing, I'm sure, excuse me, that Stan's going to say too. Some of it doesn't affect us immediately, but it is there, but it's a national level, but we do have it as state levels. My point is I want to be the ears of the people and the voice of the people here in the state of Georgia. I feel that if we can start out as a nucleus of little Blairsville, Georgia, we can then and we have people believe in what we're doing. Excuse me, I need a bottle of water here. And I'm not going to drink Harry's. But if we start out as a nucleus, I feel that nucleus, and we get people to believe in all of what we're doing, that nucleus will grow and people will get intrigued about what's happening and they'll get more involved in our governments. So that's what we need to make happen. People does not want to get involved, but I appreciate everyone, and I just want to thank everybody that's been to every one of my events. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be on several more events. I want to thank my wife and my 5 children, 14 grandchildren, 2 of it's in school. So it's one of those deals yes, sir. Thank everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. I appreciate that. And don't worry, I tested negative. It's okay. Anyhow, Stan Gunner, 1 minute closing statement, sir.
All right, thank you. It's been an honor to serve this community for over 25 years as district attorney and chief judge, and now as state representative. For me, service is a calling. It's hard work. It's not just 3 months down at the Capitol. And I enjoy solving problems and helping folks with those problems. I've helped bring tax dollars back to the area that have are for good, valid projects. I've built relationships at the Capitol, across the state, and locally so that we can get things done. I'm committed to keeping the state the #1 place to work, live, and raise a family. And I'm invested in this community and will continue to serve the citizens if reelected, and I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Well, I think I speak for Pat Malone also when I want to express our appreciation to both of you, not only for being here today, but for your willingness to step up and run for public office. I mean, there's so many people that have, they have their ideas of how we ought to do things, but they're not willing to run for public office and actually try to be responsible for getting things done. They'd just rather give you some advice. So the fact that anybody that will run for public office, we definitely appreciate the fact that you are doing that. Patrick, how about you?
I do appreciate both of the candidates. I appreciate anybody who's willing to throw their hat in the ring for and campaign for public office. It's sometimes it's a thankless job, but we have good people that step up and want to represent us, and that's the whole purpose of what we're doing, to give you a look at the good people who are running and understand their positions so that you can make a well-informed vote when you go to the polls. Remember that the primary election date is May 21st. Early voting is going on right now. My understanding from the Secretary of State is it's been pretty light over the first 3 days.
All right.
So we need to step up our game a little bit.
And now your time is up. So,
Thank
folks,
you.
we are out of here for today. As you know, the morning dish will be coming in next, so we encourage you to stay tuned. And we encourage you to go vote now, okay?
Our mountain roads are busier than ever, which has led to more accidents. Unfortunately, insurance companies are not in the business of being fair. They're in